Hey there, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the THW News and Rumors Rundown for the NHL. My name is Jim Parsons. I'm here with HockeyWriters.com. It is Saturday, August 28th today. We've got lots to discuss. Even though things might have slowed down just a little bit in the NHL, there's still lots to talk of news, retirements, returns, injuries, possible rumors, contract deals, all sorts of stuff happening in the NHL. So we'll get into all of that right now. Just a quick reminder, though, if you want to follow us, you can do so at the Hockey Writer on Twitter. You can go to the HockeyWriters.com and check out all the latest news and rumors and those reports. And then, of course, on the Facebook page, facebook.com/thehockeywriters. All right, let's get right into it. Let's start with some news about players retiring, returning, things like that. Henrik Lundqvist, veteran goaltender, has decided to hang up his pads. He's not going to be returning to the NHL. He's made a couple attempts at a comeback and was actually pretty close with the Washington Capitals, but he says that he is not ready to return. Complications with his heart, potential risks are not worth the reward, so he's not going to be coming back to the NHL. The New York Rangers have announced that they will probably retire his number at some point this season, which he's very grateful for, and he may have a job in the NHL at some point with the Rangers, probably more than anybody else. So it's a sad time that Henrik Lundqvist will not be returning to the NHL, but the good news here is that he is only going to ever be a Rangers. He never actually officially played a game for the Washington Capitals, even though he signed. So that's kind of a bonus there that he'll always kind of be remembered as a Rangers, one of the best goaltenders in the last decade or so. Andrei Svechnikov has signed with the Carolina Hurricanes, locks up for another 8-year extension, $62 million, $7.75 million per season. It's a really good deal for the Carolina Hurricanes. A little bit surprising, actually, when you consider how young he is, the potential he's got as a ceiling for his contract and production. But he's going to be in the age range where this contract could end and he could hit another home run in free agency. So it's not like a total loss for Svechnikov. He says that he is happy to sign with Carolina. Didn't want to go anywhere, likes the coaches, likes the team, liked the ability and potential that they could win. So he wanted to stick put. Sean Couturier signed the same day with the Philadelphia Flyers for an identical contract for 8 years. The difference in age, though, is pretty drastic. So you can see how good a deal this is for Carolina. Some news on returns and those that are going to be ready for the upcoming season. Carey Price, Montreal Canadiens goaltender, will be at training camp for the Montreal Canadiens. If he's not there to just start things off, he'll be there a couple days after training camp begins, which kind of settles the whole idea of how serious his injuries were, his hip, his knee, things like that. And the whole Seattle Kraken story with the NHL expansion draft is a whole different ballgame when you know now that Carey Price was injured, but not nearly as bad as maybe the Montreal Canadiens wanted to let on. John Tavares will be back for the season and training camp with the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's skating. He's doing well. He's happy to be back, getting lots of ice time. So that's a good sign for the Toronto Maple Leafs that Tavares will be back. And Tuukka Rask says that he'll probably be back for the Boston Bruins sometime around Christmas, maybe early January. He does not have a contract with the Bruins, and he says he has not actually talked in great detail about a contract with the Bruins, but he's not worried about it. He says he'll sign for cheap. He doesn't want to play anywhere else. This is a guy who's winding down his career, so the Bruins have a couple different options in Linus Ullmark and Jeremy Swayman, but they're going to probably go with Rask as a third-string goaltender in Boston, so we'll probably see him at some point in the season, but I can't expect he's going to go anywhere else. David Krejci says he is not coming back to the Boston Bruins. He says he'll do the entire season in the Czech Republic, play in front of friends and family. There was some talk that maybe Boston was keeping a spot open for him after he kind of got that out of his system. He might want to come back to Boston, but he says he's not going to be doing that. He'll play the entire year in the Czech Republic, and then he'll decide after that. Could 2022-23 be in the cards? Maybe, but it's not going to be this season. Finally, Kirill Kaprizov with the Minnesota Wild. The rumored $10 million offer on the table from the KHL is probably not really there anymore. He says he's probably not going to be signing there. Now, this could all fall apart if a deal doesn't get done last minute. He could go to the KHL for a month and make a couple $1,000,000 or something if the Wild can't get a deal done with Kaprizov. But the expectation here is probably 4 or 5 years with Minnesota, that this deal will get done and that he will be part of the team coming up. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us this week. Don't forget, check out thehockeywriters.com for all the rest of the articles, news and rumors, everything else. And then, of course, we'll be with you again next Saturday. Hopefully we got lots to talk about for the NHL. Training camps are not that far away, and there's still a couple moves left on the table for some of these NHL teams, so we'll get into that. All right, guys, my name is Jim Parsons with thehockeywriters.com. We'll talk to you next week.